Okay, in the vessel bag are these brand new TaylorMade P770s. But then that, oh, that felt phenomenal. Now, I've got to admit, TaylorMade are really bringing out some beautiful looking irons, and to give them credit, they have been now for the last 3-4 years. Ever since they brought out the P790, the original P790s, which took the golf world by storm, they've kind of continued with this same trend. Clean, fresh, almost timeless looking irons, which I think they've done a really good job. I have got one criticism though. I was just looking before and going, oh, brand new P770 is great. I was doing a little bit of research and going, oh, what's it been, like 3 years since they brought out the last P770s? 2 years ago since they brought out the P770s? No, they actually brought out another new version just last year. So these are a replacement for a set of irons from only a year ago, which I think is a bit naughty, because I'm sure there are improvements, yes, but there can't be that much improvement. However, these P770s do have a brand new look, and they fill the gap between the very popular P790s and the brand new, which you might have seen me review on the channel recently, P7CBs. These kind of fill the gap in the middle. Forged construction for a brand new feel, and also refined shape for a better turf interaction. So TaylorMade are very much on this journey of the soul of the golf club with their iron range this year and how you're going to get better turf interaction. Apparently this year's model has got a slightly thinner top line, but I think it's going to be minimal, and a higher launch than previous model. Now, I've actually got the previous model here in the bag as well. This is the P770 from last year. Actually, really rate the looks of the TaylorMade clubs. I do. I think they've absolutely nailed it. I think they're so, like, if someone said to me now, which ones are the new models? If you gave this to maybe someone who isn't into their equipment as much and say, show me which one's the new model is, I don't think they'd be able to tell. Like, it's so minimal. You could argue the newer model has got a bit more of a futuristic look, but it's very, very minimal. They've gone away from this kind of shiny bit of chrome and the real satin finish to more this kind of just brushed finish. Now, price-wise, £179 per iron. So it depends on how many irons you're going to get. If you're going to go from a 4-iron down to a pitching wedge, it's going to cost about £1,200. Let's start off with the 7-iron first. This is 33 degrees of loft, and I expect it maybe to be a little bit stronger. 33 degrees of loft is pretty standard. And the other thing to obviously call out is, and they had this in the previous models, 4-iron, 5-iron, 6, 7 have this little speed slot in the bottom. 8, 9 pitching wedge do not. So that's a little bit of speed slot. It's supposed to help with ball speed on those lower strikes. Right, let's hit the 7-iron first. Let's see what the P770s, the brand newer than the last new model, which wasn't even that old, can do. Okay, 180 yards away from the flag. Let's hit this 7-iron. Now, it is a gorgeous looking iron. It really is. I've been kind of playing about with the P7CBs a little bit, and these don't look too dissimilar. Maybe just a little bit chunkier. I could see a lot of blended sets going on. I'm calling that quite early, but I think quite a lot of blended sets might take place. Right, let's see how they fly, let's see how they perform, and let's see how they feel. Little bit of a draw, but solid strike. Okay, not the worst shot for a warm-up shot. A little bit drawy, just under 170 yards carry. That was nice. Feels beautiful. Really nice, solid strike. Sound fantastic. I know we're indoors here, but that sounds like a real crack, like a real satisfying good hit. That carried 175, which is pretty much spot on for this loft for me, hitting with my current swing speed of around about 90, 91 miles per hour with a 7-iron. That's nice as well. Didn't quite draw as much that time. That's really nice. Oh yeah. And it's going high. It's going high. It looks like it's got a good descent angle. Not quite sure about the spin yet. Looking early, yeah, the spin numbers look good on first inspection there. Set a couple more, and then we'll move into some different clubs. That was interesting. That was just a bit of a scrappy strike. It wasn't horrendous, but just a little bit out the toe. You can see there drop off in distance, in performance. It still managed to just sneak its way onto the front of the green, but that just showed that that wasn't the best strike. Now what was interesting with the CB irons that I tested, with similar strikes, I actually felt like the performance was even slightly better than that. Like that's dropped off a good 10 yards. But then that felt phenomenal. Really nice. Front edge of the green, yeah, nice hit. I'm gonna go one more with the 7. Feels good. It's surprising, when I'm actually hitting it, the sensation I'm getting of the feel of the strike and the sound, which plays a big part in the feel, I actually feel like the ball is coming off faster and therefore maybe should be going further. But I'm looking up and thinking, this might go longer than 180, and it's not. It's going about the right distance for this loft. I don't know if I expected, or for some reason expecting more distance. I'm probably, I mean, that's, don't get wrong, that's the good numbers, 170 yards carry. I'm feeling like the sensation I'm getting, the feel, the sound, the feedback through the club, it feels like it's coming off more powerful than the numbers are actually telling me. I'm gonna go one more. Just whether I've missed the absolute sweet spot. That last one felt as good as it gets. Now that one was solid, but I'm not particularly knocking on the door of anything longer there. Nice, good, solid numbers. No massive surprises, probably is big feedback from there. In this hand, I've got the 2023 model. So fairly new, very new. In this hand, I've got the 2024 model. They're brand new model. That's the one I've just been hitting. I'm actually gonna hit, just while we've got a moment here, and I think it's worth doing, I'm gonna hit the last year's, I was gonna say the original, the last year's model P770. I do think it's a bit ridiculous bringing a new set out so close. I do, when there's such minimal changes, because I'm sure these are still absolutely phenomenal. But that's sometimes TaylorMade for you. I felt like they'd learned that lesson not to bring out too many clubs. Anyway, let's hit this. On paper, there's not any real difference. Same loft, pretty much the same build up. I mean, if you read the spec sheet from last year, it's pretty much saying the same things. But let's hit a bunch of shots, just so we've got a comparison and see if we actually spot anything different. Wasn't brilliant, but not bad. Might go in, might go in. Oh, last year's model, so much better, so much better. Oh, I'll be honest, I didn't strike that great. It's landed at the front and ran on, but for it to only finish 4 inches away from the hole, we'll take that. Let's hit a few more. Oh, that was so close to being unbelievable. Okay, so that is the comparisons to the 7 iron. I'll come to the data a little bit later in the video. There were some interesting findings. Let's go pitching wedge next. 45 degrees of loft, beautiful looking iron. There's nothing wrong with them at all. They're very, very nice looking irons, but so was last year's models. Let's go nice little pitching wedge into this green. That felt nice, just a little trappy one. It's gonna spin pretty quick, yeah, nice. Very nice. Just that little tiny bit bottom strike. This is where the 8, 9 iron pitching wedge don't have the speed slot in the bottom. Not that I've ever noticed a massive difference with the speed slot, but it's supposed to be not maybe as forgiving on a bottomed hit. Little pull, but good strike. Might be in the hole. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Okay, let's hit some 4 irons. Okay, 4 iron. I think this is, even for myself, like, I've got the I'm talking about maybe putting the P7 CBs in the bag. That's where I'd maybe put this in instead of the 4-iron of the CB. It's a degree stronger at 22 degrees, but I think it'll just, you know, just that little bit of extra forgiveness. So that little bit more comfort, even if it was just behind the ball going, yeah, we've got you back here. Let's see how it performs. This is a very interesting club for me. Okay, that's interesting. I did not hit that well. Full disclosure, I hit that dreadful. That's what I want out of a 4-iron. Honestly, I hit that so far from the bottom of the golf club. Yeah, it's landed 208, give me a 227 total. It's exactly what I want. Oh, that felt good. I mean, it sounded really well hit. Again, give me 230 total distance, which I'm really happy with. That sounded, that sounded something else. Really nice. Didn't quite strike it. I want to see what the bad ones do. And if a bad one finds me a green at 230 yards, I'll snatch your hand off. I really will. Okay, so diving through some numbers here. And these are, I'm just going to show you originally this year's P770 numbers. Spoiler alert, they're all pretty much spot on. They're really good. Carry distance with the 7-iron, 170 on average. Couple of drop-off shots, you saw those. Couple of good hits, you saw those. But on average, 170. I'm happy with that with the 33 degree lofted iron and 6,300 spin. Pretty much spot on. The pitching wedge carrying at 129, again, it's pretty much bang on. 9,200 spin, positive. Close to 10,000 we can get is a real positive. And then the 4-iron, really, really impressed with that club. 212 yards of average carry distance, that's class. 4,000 spin, very, very impressed. Let's have a quick look at that comparison between the two 7-irons though. Okay, and then the comparison between last year's P770 and this year's P770. Drum roll please. There's not much of a difference. On average, the carry distance was actually 1 yard further. Listen, it's on average, I'm not really reading into that too much, 171. The spin rate was slightly more with the newer model by about 140 RPM more, maybe a little bit more actually, if my maths has served me right. 180 RPM more, not a lot. Ball speed is almost identical. Launch angle, I mean, it's 0.1 of a degree higher with the new model, and that's pretty much it. Like, really not much difference. The total distance is slightly higher, just because I think the spin rate's lower. And on the older model, I just pulled a couple which maybe just got a little bit of extra distance, and certainly one that missed the green might have just rolled on a bit further. But all in all, almost exactly the same. Guys, I'll let you be the judge. If you can pick up, and I've said this before, genuinely, if you can pick up the older model for a discounted price, go and do it. Go and do it. They're a great set of irons, they are. And there's nothing wrong with this set. Just come on, TaylorMade. 2-year cycle, 3-year cycle. I think that's where you've absolutely nailed it. If you did that, you would absolutely nail it. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, lots more to come. And that was a review of the brand new TaylorMade P770s.